Yeah, it's good to know that you are still there. But in case you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Abuja on NT Channel 5, the Unity Station. Now we want to take this feature on rape as an epidemic. Let's see. We'll be right back.
Rape is a violent crime that dehumanizes the victim and devalues their sense of self worth. Our women, and in a minority of cases our men, are under siege from sex maniacs, and the time has come for all of us to pay it the attention it deserves.
Rape is a vicious and very personal crime where somebody has forceful sexual knowledge of another person. And it happens to girls, it happens to boys, it happens to men, it happens to women, it happens across all age groups. But you see, it is usually a violent and vicious crime. There's a lot of hush and silence around rape. How do we get people who have been raped, people who have been assaulted to talk about it? How do we stop the stigmatization, the victim shaming that is surrounded with rape? These are all things that have to be addressed. Also importantly, it might apply to a small number of people. But you see, in a particular country, there was a time when, I mean, perhaps it still is, when infant rape was very common. Why? Because some traditional rulers said to people that you can cure HIV/AIDS by having sex with a virgin. Wow. And the way the people knew to sleep with a virgin was to sleep with a child.
These violent sex crimes sometimes end in murder or threat of same, and the culprits are more likely than not family members and people who should normally earn the trust of the victims. The stigmatization that goes with being raped discourages the victims from coming out, increasing the chances of the criminals being subjected to justice.
So in terms of what a person should do, well, safety first. If the person is in an unsafe environment, the person wants to get into a safe environment as much as possible or call for help. The person should go to hospital, preferably accompanied by somebody. Go to the hospital, go and get yourself examined and treated. The person might have suffered wounds. The person will need some counseling and psychological support. In the hospital, they can document findings.
In many cases, the victims are wrongly blamed for alleged indecent dressing.
Nothing justifies rape. Even if a person is naked, it is not an invitation to another person to come and rape the person. We should note that sometimes it's a crime of opportunity. People seek a vulnerable person in a vulnerable situation. Children have been raped, children wearing pampers. What was sexually provocative about that? People in full clothing, Muslim women wearing hijab, Christian women in long robes have been raped. So there is no justification.
Law enforcement agencies, the police, and non governmental organizations have been collaborating to see to it that these cases of rape are dealt with.
To all the young girls who were raped when they didn't even know what rape was, women are important too.
Also, human rights campaigners have rallied in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, and other states to raise awareness about sex crimes and its adverse effects.
All of us will hear the matter when it breaks, but it is for the media to keep it in mind and follow through. When people report these cases, pressure comes from left, right, and center. Oh, forgive, forget, it will destroy his career. Oh, it will embarrass the family. There's a lot of pressure on the person who has suffered too much already. The person who was assaulted needs a lot of support. So civil society organizations and all that have to come in. It costs money to prosecute a case, really, and to ensure that undue pressure and financial inducement is not put to suppress a case or to bribe the investigator or things like that. So we all must come together. We cannot just leave it to the security agencies alone.
There must be no place in our society for sexual predators. Our women folk and vulnerable people of all ages must be adequately protected for victims of sex crimes.
Welcome back. Yes, you all know, or we all know that rape is something we must all lend our voice to say no to. We are saying no to rape. Okay, it's not proper. So the feature you just saw is of rape as an epidemic. All right. So you should be able to lend your voice to say no to rape. And it brings us to our discussion this morning. We have someone who has passion. to say no to all the violence that happen on our campuses. And this time we're looking at sexual gender violence in our campuses and indirectly saying no to sex for grade or grade for sex. Please join me as I welcome Glorious Amaru Jack, author and founder, Women and Children Education Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Cynthia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, the topic, we are looking at the sexual, gender-based violence on our campuses.
Yes.
So for you, why do you want to lend your voice to that? Have you had an experience with or heard of someone who had an experience? So where is it coming from?
Okay. Thank you very much. We all went to school.
Okay.
We all experienced it.
Hmm.
We may not be victims, but we could be related to victims.
Hmm.
And now that we're out of school, all we could do to avoid it or to mitigate is to lend our voices.
Wow.
Sometimes some of the allegations are not true.
Hmm.
When a child is not doing well, she resorts to blaming someone for her failure. And
Okay,
who
that's
is
another angle.
yes, and who is that victim? The lecturer.
Oh.
Now, if we don't speak out,
Hmm.
the pandemic will continue. You know why? The lecturers kept taking the blames.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, there are students who came to school believing that this is the only way to succeed.
Wow.
Their friends have told them,
Hmm.
you have to, if you can't beat them, you join them.
So is that you pay in cash or in kind?
Yes.
Oh.
Sometimes they approach these lecturers by themselves.
Wow.
And that is why it's difficult to bring the perpetrators to book
Hmm.
because you don't even know where the truth, whether it is true or not,
Whether it's the victim or the
or the victimized.
the victimized. Okay.
You know, sometimes they just cook up stories.
Hmm.
And because they are females, you now
There's
begin
every
to,
tendency to want to believe their
yes, you
story.
believe them. And the innocent lecturer would be like me. The lecturer is someone's father, someone's husband, someone's son. But we have this sympathy for the girls. And the girls have shot themselves on the leg in the sense that when they report, you go to the police, to the female desk at the police station, because they are used to hearing lies from these students. When you report rape cases, say, go and sit down. So when we have the truth, when we see the genuine ones, we won't know how to handle it.
So are you indirectly saying that the students offer themselves to the lecturers or that it never happened?
No, all of them happen,
Okay.
but we just take advantage of all of them.
Oh.
When it has not happened, you claim that it has happened.
Okay. And when it happens,
Nobody will believe you again. Because you've told lies before. You've been crying wolf, wolf, wolf. Now the wolf has come. Everybody say that is how it is. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Let's be honest.
okay.
Let's be honest in our reporting.
Hmm.
Don't come to the campus believing that you're going to succeed this way, both male and female. Some even the male students, some will even get another girl for the lecturer so that he can scale through.
So now I want us to, we are looking at sexual gender violence on our campuses. And we are looking at sex for grade or grade for sex. We know that it happens.
Yes, it happens.
Now, you are saying that at times it may not happen. They may cook up stories
Yes.
to back up their failure.
Yes.
Okay, maybe especially when you say, okay, why didn't you pass this course? You said the lecturer was asking me for, that kind of a thing, just to cover up. Maybe they want to deceive their parents. But now let's look at in a case where it happens.
Where it happens.
Yes.
Fine.
So where a lecturer says to a student, if you like, study heaven and earth. If you don't do this, you will not pass.
You will not
Some
graduate.
even say, okay, let's even look at another thing. Some will say, okay, I have handouts. And most times you find out that their handouts are maybe something downloaded and then printed or something that is not even, at times may not be useful to the student. Is that you buy the handouts? If you don't, you will not pass, or you do the grade for sex.
For sex.
So where it happens, who do we hold responsible? Is it the girl who has no, the female student who has no choice but to just yield, or the lecturer who is supposed to be a father to these students? Who do we hold responsible in this case?
Where it happens. Now, let's look at it from this perspective. You said the child has no choice. She has a choice.
The choice is to fail.
No, the choice to say no.
Okay, say no and fail.
Why should she fail? She came to read.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're saying even if she says no,
Yeah.
that she will still pass.
Of course.
Oh, what about if the man refuses to pass her because she
Who
says
is the
no?
man? The lecturer. No, excuse me. You should know that without the students, there is no university. Without the lecturer, there is no university. So the child or the students should have it at the back of her mind that she is as important as the lecturer on that campus.
Okay.
So no lecturer has the power to fail you.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, you are saying that?
When I was on campus, I was as beautiful as I can be.
Oh.
Nobody failed me. I never had a receipt. I never had a carryover.
Okay,
Despite their rubbish.
that was then.
No, it's still the same thing.
Okay,
It was happening around me.
okay. So if it happens around someone and the person says no, and the lecturer fails the person, what do you think?
I'm still telling you now that the lecturer has no power. Let's look at it from this perspective. You are offering 8 courses, right? You have 6 lecturers taking you.
Okay.
And you, out of 8 courses, you have A, B on 7.
Okay.
Then you now fail 1. You have 35.
Okay, I can now understand where
Who is the
you are.
lecturer?
Okay, you are saying that, okay, if it's only one lecturer and you, okay, I now understand the
You see
angle.
it?
But I was looking at it as if you were like, even if the lecturers fail you, you can still pass.
No.
Okay, but what you are saying is that if you have 9 courses and you read very well,
Of course.
and you pass 8, and one particular lecturer says, if you don't do this, you'll fail. And you say, okay, I'm not ready to do it. And the lecturer fails you on that course, it will not make you fail.
No. Even that failure is an insult on the lecturer. We have academic, we have the Senate. You can call for your paper.
This is interesting. Let's go on a break. Let's go on this break, and when we come back, we need to, because I'm sure a lot of people are saying, oh, is she saying it's not happening? Are you sure she's truly in this country? You know, that kind of a thing, but no. Please, let's go on this break, and when we return, we'll keep talking about sexual, gender based violence on our campuses. Let's go on the break. All right, we've been talking about sexual, gender-based violence on our campuses, and it's becoming interesting, you know. A lot of people will say, okay, it's either you're in or you're out. But we have someone here who is saying that you have the choice to say no. And your saying no will not make you fail. So let's hear more from her.
So what I'm saying is this. You've written your script. You wrote very well. You know of what you wrote.
Yeah.
Then a lecturer gave you 35 or 37 when you're supposed to be at 60. He's not the only one in that school now. Somebody will remark the paper.
Okay, that's if you take up the case.
Of course.
Oh.
If my daughter comes home with such results,
okay,
we will meet the lecturer now. Come and remark it. All of us went to school now.
Okay.
By the time you are remarking it, we will not ask you who was your lecturer, who taught you that this one is wrong.
Okay, I think I'm
Have you seen
beginning
it?
to
We have parents.
see.
You are not the only one. The reason why they keep quiet is because they don't have confidence in themselves. Lecturers can be sacked. True?
Okay.
So why should I give in?
So you have
every right.
opportunity to
100%.
report the
There is
harassment.
no school, of course. Report, start with your parents.
Okay.
Mommy, I don't understand this. This is what the lecturer. Go and sit down. Don't worry, my daughter. I will take it up. We all went to school. Didn't you go to school? Before that lecturer, it's possible you graduated before that lecturer. Then you now ask that lecturer, who taught you that a 1 plus 1 that my daughter wrote a 2 is wrong?
Wow. So this is where parents need to come in.
Of course.
Oh, this is good. Now, you wrote something on campus story.
Yes.
Campus story, what and what?
Misunderstood love.
Misunderstood love. You know, When I looked at it, campus story, misunderstood love. What is it all about?
Okay. It's the story of a naive student
Okay.
who went to the campus and believed that every lecturer is bad because we didn't address that issue of harassment. So when she was leaving for school, her father drew her ears. All those female lecturers, they are randy dogs. Don't mind them or don't listen to them. Oh. And unfortunately, one of her lecturers, Kevin, fell in love with her, genuinely in love with her. And because of that mindset,
So
that
that's the
lecturers, that is
misunderstood.
that misunderstood love. She raised an alarm. Kevin is harassing me sexually. Just come to my office. I want to talk to you. And she misunderstood it.
Wow.
But in this case, the campus, or the school authority came to looked into the matter and discovered that the girl was naive. But before that, the news has circulated. Her father has spread the rumor that somebody was harassing my daughter.
Okay.
And out of shame, Kevin had to leave the institution.
Meanwhile, it was a genuine love.
It was a genuine love.
Wow.
And Kevin, because of the impact, Kevin refused to marry any other woman except Sophia. That was his
What
first
a love
love
story.
and last love.
This is a serious love story. So why did you decide to talk about the campus?
Yes,
Why?
I decided to talk about the campus because I relate closely with women and girls. That's by my own NGO. They don't understand. They don't understand where to draw the line
Okay.
between harassment and genuine intention.
Okay.
I can't have you as a good student, as a well-respected student. I see you in my class every day. You are from a good home. And when I'm looking for a wife, you don't expect me to go to the street. I know you. I have every right to fall in love with you. So don't misunderstand the lecturers. They are not your enemies. They are
But what
your
about
friends.
lecturers that are supposed to be up to your father's age? Are they also looking for a wife?
The book is balanced.
Okay.
You will see Mr. One that was harassing a girl of 17 years. She was the youngest in the class. And because she was naive, he thought he would take advantage of
You know
him.
what I'm looking at you? You are telling this story with, see the way you're smiling, you are enjoying what you're doing.
Yes.
And then I don't know, but in writing this book or this telling this story, it's as if there is this passion.
For getting it right.
Okay, passion for
For getting
it
it right
on our
campuses. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Don't be a half-baked student.
So, like they say, pass through the school and
Allow
let
the
the
school
school to pass through you.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That's a good
as
one.
a student, let your colleagues be your friends, first of all.
Okay.
We have this common saying that united we stand, isn't it?
Divided we fall.
So the lecturer in the story, the lecturer who tried to harass a student, the student showed him pepper too. Pardon my English. The students rallied around the girl and showed him pepper.
Okay.
What did they do? One of them said, okay, sir, you love this girl, you love this. He said, yes, I love the girl. It's okay, don't worry, we'll bring her for you.
Wow.
And he asked the girl to go and pay for a hotel. The boys went and booked for the hotel and told the management of the hotel that the guest will pay on arrival. So when he arrived, they checked him in. He didn't know. He said, no problem. This girl's parents are very rich. And they said, okay, sir, don't worry, we're going to bring the girl. They brought his daughter.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
When he was waiting for another person's child to destroy, they brought
his own daughter.
His own daughter.
Okay.
So you're looking for a girl.
So when he came in, he met his own daughter.
No, the girl came in and met her father, waiting for a girl in the room. And they locked the door, so yeah, continue.
Wow. All right, let's look at the moral. What message are you sending?
Thank you very
As we
much,
round up.
Cynthia. The message I'm sending is this. No lecturer can pull you down. I'm saying it categorically. I never had a receipt, but it happened around me. I never had a receipt, I never had a carryover. Was I too ugly? Maybe nobody was looking at me. They were looking at me. But you can't try that. Secondly, lecturers know their limits. They know where to stop their stupidity. They can't look at you. It's not everybody.
Okay.
Then I want you to also know that some students make the move. This is how we will succeed.
Yeah.
This is how we will succeed. Don't worry.
So it takes two to tango.
Is it not Mr. Okonta? Don't worry.
We know where to get
We
him.
know how to get him. You also see it in the book. Two lecturers, Lucy and Julie, they went to meet Mr. David. Say, Mr. David, it's okay. Something you gave to me, you put sugar in my mouth, will I pour it away? And at last, they got pregnant. Two of them took pregnancy from Mr. David at the same time. So Mr. David had to resign and leave the school.
Okay.
So what happens with the girls? Find out. So the moral is be careful.
All right.
You are on the campus to learn. You're not there to make shakara. You're not there to follow men. If you want to follow, fine, be decent. You know that some people were really dating. A lecturer and a student could be dating. But when things go south, they will raise an alarm. Hey, she has been harassing me. You people were lovers. Only that you went to his house and saw him with another girl. And the way to punish him is to raise an alarm. He has been harassing me. Wow. Please sanitize our campuses.
Yes, that's just the word. Sanitize our campuses. Actually, you said something. It takes two to tango. Yeah. If you say no to a lecturer, you have places you can take your case to.
Yes.
So you can actually stand your ground and say no. And your no will be no. Yes. And they say, mean it. Not there's this song that say, do not say yes when you mean to say no. You understand? Yeah. So when you're saying no to a lecturer, look him eyeball to eyeball and say, no, I'm not going to do this.
Ask him. Somebody did it. You say you have a story like that. Amanda looked at that same Mr. David that impregnated two girls and said, Mr. David,
if you continue, you keep telling us the story.
He said, Mr. David, let me tell you, is this university your own?
Oh, wow.
Is it your father's school?
Wow, thank you
Another person say you're not even a shareholder in the school.
Thank you so much. Yes, we've been talking to Glorious Amalu Jack, author and founder, Women and Children Education Foundation. Thank you so much. I love the passion. I love the way you're telling the stories as if you are a student right now and you're seeing what is happening on our campuses. Please keep lending your voice.
Thank you very much.
I want to also say that you can go to campuses. Let them read your book to them, tell them the story, and tell them what you have just told us here, that look, you can stand your ground and say no.
Yes, we are working towards it. Currently, it's at NERDC Research Center.
Okay.
So we hope that by September, it will be in our schools.
In our schools. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for what you are doing, and we'll say thumbs up. All right, the program is still Good Morning Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Stay Good Morning Abuja on NT Channel 5, the Unity Station. Thank you so much for staying tuned. As a road user, you have to put into consideration other people, and that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about good driving culture, and the right person to talk about it is right here in the studio. Please join me as I welcome CRC Sylvanus Ekpeyon. He is the Unit Head of Operations, Federal Road Safety Corps, Central Business District, Abuja. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are talking about good driving culture.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, okay, what are those good driving culture? So please, what does it mean?
We said the good driving culture is a set of a positive attitudes, practices, and might lead to good behaviors, and orderliness and safety on the road.
Okay.
So if you must have to be in a good driving attitude and culture, you must have to obey certain rules and regulations that govern the use of the roads. One, you must have to obey the traffic rules and regulations. Most people in FCT today, they don't obey traffic lights and signals. And that is why when you get to intersection, where there are traffic lights, you see people not being patient. They beat the lights. And when the law cuts off with them, you ask for evidence. And that is why Federal Road Safety today, you see our men going out with body-worn cameras. And once you beat the lights, if you want the evidence, they will show you. Even as you are being caught with the light, the control room in the national headquarters is already recorded it.
So you can't deny it.
You can't deny it.
Wow.
So even though you go to court, we have evidence to present to you.
Wow.
And we want people to change on this attitude, these behaviors of disobeying traffic rules and regulations. When you beat traffic light, it leads to dangerous driving. Because another person that have the right of the way, the light has given him the right of the way to go. And because you are impatient, you get involved in a crash. And that is why we ask people, please, the attitude must change. If we have the attitudinal change, that means you have a good roads. People will be orderliness on the roads.
Okay.
And when you must maintain your vehicles. When your vehicle is not maintained and you make use of the roads. Like yesterday, my boy have an experience with an offender that the vehicle break down in the middle of the road by Finance Junction. The vehicle break down on the road. And before a vehicle break down, in that place, you call a lot of traffic. And people will start calling, and everybody want to move at the same time. And we have to call a tow truck to move the vehicle out. And the man started wanting to fight the boys. That why do you want to move my vehicle? It's just the battery. I'm calling my colleagues to bring a battery for me to change.
To come and change it on the road.
On the road. This attitude we are talking about, people need to change. And if you stop on the road, in the center of the road, causing traffic congestion, you don't consider other road users. If your vehicle is not good, please take it to a mechanic that makes sure that the vehicle is in good condition so that it do not break down on the middle of the road. And we also talk about people not speeding their vehicle. The majority of crashes we have is attributed to as a result of speeding.
We even have some smoky vehicles.
Yes,
even care.
We have speeding. When you speed your vehicle, you don't go in the speed that is being attributed to, because every vehicle is based on the Nigerian code and highway code. There are categories of vehicles and there are categories of roads, and the speed is categorized based on the vehicles and the roads. So you have to obey the speed limits, and we also advise people. Like whenever I came here, I would tell people, please don't go on the speed, go on the common sense speed limit. The common sense speed limit is a speed that you can control.
Okay, so that's why it's called
common sense speed limit.
Wow,
you go on the speed you can control.
Okay.
And we also talk about, like you mentioned, smoking vehicles. Your vehicle is not roadworthy. When your vehicle is smoking excessively, you will impair the other road users. The vision will not be clear. They will not see. So why don't you park your vehicle? Make sure the vehicle is work well. You service your vehicle before you put it on the road, so that you will not affect other road users. And we also talk about people driving under influence of drugs and alcohol.
That's a serious one.
Especially during the festive periods, when people are jolly enjoying themselves.
Even when it's not festive, there are people who cannot do without.
Under the influence of drugs and alcohol. And we advise them, please don't make use of the roads. Everything we're talking about is attitude.
Okay.
If every Nigerian would change their attitude on the road, the road will be safe. The culture of good driving will be there.
Okay.
They will, even if a crash happens, it will not be fatal. It will be minimized. Even the rate of injury, it will be reduced. The trauma will be reduced. So we advise people, try to make sure that you don't overspeed your vehicle, you don't overload your vehicle. You don't park where you're not supposed to park, because some people will park on the roads to carry passengers.
Okay.
Why would you park on the express road, on the main road to carry passengers? One, you are risking your life, the life of the occupants of the vehicle,
on the express,
and the other users. Supposing a vehicle that maybe lose control and fall into your vehicle, well, what happens? We have incidences of vehicle that, because of speed, go and hit another, maybe hit a truck, drive under the truck. And we have incidents of vehicle got with fire these days. And we ask people, please go with the vehicles. There are what we call safety tips in the vehicles. Fire extinguisher is very, very important in the vehicle. When your vehicle you drive, you don't have fire extinguisher, especially this dry season. That's a little thing that can ignite fire. And every vehicle have to go with a specified fire extinguisher. There are fire extinguishers that are meant for a particular vehicle. If it is a trailer, There are number of fire extinguisher you are supposed to go with. If it's a car, there are number you are supposed to go with. Why don't you? And if your fire extinguisher expired, please go and change it and refill it, so that when in event of fire outbreak, your fire extinguisher will help you before the service of fire service to come. And we also see our people driving without driver's license.
Okay.
When people are driving without being a license on the road, that means you are going out to the road to look for who to kill.
Wow.
Because as a driver, you are supposed to be licensed.
Yeah.
And when you pass through the training for you to get the license, you will now know the attitude of being on the road.
Okay. Okay. When we come back, we're going for a break now, but when we come back, you talk to us about some sensitization programs that you have, okay, that you normally organize to also help out. Now we are discussing good driving culture on our road, and you and I know that it's very, very important. Let's take this break, and when we come back, the discussion will continue. Please don't go anywhere. It's good to know that you are there. Good driving culture. That's what we're talking about. And CRC Sylvanus Ekpeyong is still here to throw more light. So let's talk about sensitization program.
It's one of the basic things FRS is doing.
Okay.
In short, before we even carry out enforcement,
Hmm.
the first and foremost thing we do is to educate the motorists,
Okay.
sensitize them, and let them know the implications and what are the effects of what you are supposed to do,
Okay.
what you are doing on the that is not good. We have this culture of this morning before I comes to this studio, we went to motor parks and carry out what we call early morning cry.
Okay.
What is early morning cry about? Is to cry to them, tell them, please, as a driver, make sure your vehicle is sound before you enter the road. As a driver, make sure you are okay, you are not on influence of drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And as a driver, make sure that you are a licensed driver to be on the road. And as a driver, don't overload your vehicle. As a driver, you check your tire. Are your tires okay? Are they worn out? Are they expired? If they are worn out, please go and change your tire. If maybe your tire is being eaten by worn out because of negligence that you don't check your alignment, your arms of your vehicle, we advise you take your vehicle to a mechanic, a qualified mechanic. Check the arms and do your alignment so that your tire will save. And if your tire expired, please change them. And don't patronize the Tokumbo tires. Because when you go to the market and buy Tokumbo tires, you think your tire, because most of us just go and buy, you see the trade are still okay.
You know why I'm laughing? Because a lot of people will say, do you know how much is new tire? Like, you know, a lot
But
of
can you
drivers will
compare
tell
the
you
cost of life to a tire?
that's it.
You
That
don't
is it.
compare because
But a lot of them
when
will
the
tell
tire
you,
blown out
yes.
and it cost your life,
Hmm.
how much would it cost you to change your tire and save your life
And you know, you can't
protect your
fix your
family?
life.
You can't fix
You
it.
can't fix life.
So why don't you do the right thing? So we go out to do the early morning cry. We go out to mosques and churches to carry out the enlightenment. Like what I'm doing here is also called enlightenment. You are
Yes,
enlightening the
yes.
public on the use. We
Sensitizing
go
them.
out on motor parks. We go to schools. We go to agencies. We go to ministries, and we organize public education to educate the drivers of the ministries. When we go to them, we tell them, you are driving principals, you are driving your gas, your vehicle, you have to be medically sound. Forget about most of them are emotionally unstable when they are on steering. You see somebody driving and you don't even maintain the roads. You don't even you see them jumping from one lane to the other. Some of them because of the problem they have in the house. We have to make sure that we talk to them. Please, when you are not stable emotionally, don't enter that vehicle.
Don't drive.
Because if you are not stable, if you are not emotionally sound, you enter a vehicle, you are planning for an unforeseen circumstances, and which we don't want to happen.
Yeah. Okay, you know, like we talk about emotionally, when the person is not emotionally strong. It reminds me of what they say happens in Lagos, that they will carry you to a psychiatric and then the psychiatrist will check you. So when you have people who misuse the road, let me put it that way, or do not drive well, what are the penalties?
When especially when somebody, you know that it is wrong for you to beat traffic lights, and you beat traffic lights. You know that you are not normal. We look at it as you are not normal. You are driving, you use your phone while driving. You look at
Making
it,
calls.
making calls, receiving text, texting while on steering, and your hand are supposed to hold the wheel, and you are on phones. And we will look at, maybe this person is not normal. What the first thing is to do is to make sure we take you out, take you to the office, examine you. If we cannot do it, we send you to medical evaluations to evaluate you. Are you medically sound to be on the road?
Wow, that's
If you are not medically sound on the road, we now seize your driver's license. We suspend your driver's license, because most people don't know that FRA suspend driver's license. In every offense you commit, there's a point. There's a point that attributed to you, that you are caught for not using seatbelts. There's a point attributed to you. When the point gets to a maximum point of 21, the FRS will now suspend your driver's license. That means you are not qualified to have a license and to drive on Nigerian roads.
That means if you do it like for 21 times?
There's a point. Every offense committed have a point.
Okay.
And if you go to our notice of offense booklets, as you see the penalty, you see the fine, and there's a point. Every offense has a point. So once you have been caught for this particular offense, let me just use a simple offense like use of SUV, that is failure to use seat belts.
Okay.
You did not use your seat belt and you are caught. The fine just is 2,000 naira to pay to government. But there's a point. Maybe the point there is 2.
Okay.
Now you have 2 points. Tomorrow you commit another offense, 2 points. The next time you commit another offense, by the time the points accumulate to 21, the FRSC have the power to suspend your driver's license.
Wow. This is a good one.
And that is part of the punishment.
This is a good one.
So by the time you want to go and redo your license, no, you are not qualified to have a license. And you will not be allowed to be on the road to drive. Because we believe that you are on the road to cause problems to other road users.
Honestly, this is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, you are to give us updates. Normally, we start with updates, but this time I allowed you to come last because I know that recently we've not heard of accidents or whatever. So what is happening on our road?
Well, recently the week under review, like you said, the level of crash have reduced.
Okay.
That's reduced because of, we just came out from the special patrol called Operation Zero, and people were all everywhere on the road. Okay. And that also deterred when you drive and see FRSC personnel or police or everybody on the road, you see them, they will now come to their senses. Some of them say, no, especially when on the traffic lights. So that has reduced the level of traffic infractions on the road these days.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, you've heard it. You've heard it. You have a check. Should I call it a brain recheck or whatever? So if you misbehave on the road, don't mind. Okay, should I say don't mind? No, because cameras are watching you. So if you think nobody is seeing you, the camera is there, and if you misbehave, you'll be taken into their office. They will check your brain. If you're okay, your license will be seized. All right, so please be a good road user. Put into consideration other road users. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.